How much does it actually cost to sell a house in San Antonio? Here's the direct answer. Your fixed closing costs, the ones that are not commission and not negotiable, land right around $3,000 on a median-priced San Antonio home. Title policy, survey, HOA paperwork, recording fees, then prorated property taxes get stacked on top of that. And then commission, which is negotiable and always has been. I am Christopher Beal. I am an Army veteran, and I own Veteran Real Estate San Antonio, brokered by eXp Realty. We were voted best real estate agency in San Antonio for 2026, and I have helped more than 325 families through this exact settlement statement. Now here is the part most sellers get backwards. Those line items are the small stuff. The expensive part of selling your house happened months earlier in a decision nobody put on a closing disclosure. I will get to that. But first, let us walk the actual costs in order, biggest to smallest. No estimates pulled out of the air. Every number here comes from the state rate schedule, the county, or our own Bexar County sales data, starting with the single largest fixed line item on your side of the page. What does the title policy cost, and why does the seller pay for it? In Texas, the owner's title policy is customarily paid by the seller, and it is almost always your biggest fixed closing cost. On a home at the Bexar County median of about $290,000, that policy runs about $1,719. And here's what makes Texas different from most of the country. You cannot shop that price. Title insurance rates in Texas are promulgated. That means the Texas Department of Insurance sets the premium, and every title company in the state charges the exact same number for the same policy amount. A new rate schedule took effect on March 1st of 2026, and it actually came down. So when somebody tells you they found a cheaper title policy, they did not. The insurance premium is fixed by the state. What is not fixed are the title company's own service fees. Escrow fee, courier, document prep, e-recording. Those are set by the company, they vary, and they are negotiable. Expect a few $100s there. The practical takeaway: do not shop title companies on price because the premium is identical. Shop them on whether they close on time and answer the phone. In a Bexar County transaction, a title company that returns calls is worth more than $100 in fees. How do prorated property taxes work at closing in Bexar County? This is the line that surprises people the most, so let us be very clear about it. Prorated taxes are not a fee. They are your share of the property tax bill for the days you actually own the home this year. You owe them either way. Closing just makes you pay them early. Here is how the timing works and why it stings. Texas tax bills go out in October and are due at the end of January. So for most of the year, you have not paid anything on the current year's taxes yet. When you close in, say, late August, you have owned the home for about 2/3 of the tax year, and that entire share comes off your proceeds at the table. The median annual property tax bill in Bexar County runs right around $4,500. 2/3 of that is about $3,000. So on a median San Antonio home closing in the fall, you are looking at roughly $3,000 in prorated taxes leaving the settlement statement. Close in February instead, and that same line is a few $100s. Same house, same tax bill, different timing. That is not a cost you can negotiate away, but it is absolutely one you can plan around. What do the survey, the HOA, and the small fees actually add up to? Individually, these are small. Together, they are usually another $800 to $1,500, and they are the ones that get left off the napkin math. Start with the survey. If you have an existing survey and the title company and lender will accept it, you pay nothing. If you do not, a new residential boundary survey in San Antonio runs about $400 to $800 depending on lot size and how much research the surveyor has to do. Find your old survey before you list. That is free money. Next, the HOA. If your neighborhood has one, and in Stone Oak, Alamo Ranch, and most of the newer Comal and Kendall County subdivisions it does, The association charges for a resale certificate. Texas property code caps that at $375, plus up to $75 for an update, plus up to $75 for electronic delivery. Then the leftovers, recording fees, a courier or wire fee, sometimes a tax certificate. Call it $200 to $400. And one more, if your buyer is using a VA loan, there are a small number of fees the veteran is not allowed to pay. So they shift to you, usually modest, but know it going in. What do buyer concessions and price cuts really cost a San Antonio seller? Okay, this is the part I told you about, and it is where the real money is. Everything we have covered so far adds up to something like $4,000 to $6,000 on a median San Antonio home. Real money. But look at what the market is actually doing. I pulled 200 closed Bexar County sales from the last 3 months. 7 out of 10 of them closed below their original asking price. And for the homes that came down, the median gap between the first list price and the final sale price was $20,000. $20,000. That is 3 to 4 times every closing cost we just walked through, combined. And it never appears as a line item anywhere because it is not a fee. It is the price of being wrong on day one and correcting slowly. Add concessions on top. Right now, a lot of San Antonio buyers are asking sellers to cover part of their closing costs or buy their rate down. And the average home in Bexar County is sitting about 80 days before it sells. So here is the honest version. If you are $10,000 over the market on launch day, no amount of fee shopping saves you. The pricing decision is the closing cost. Everything else is rounding. What about commission? And how do you actually keep more of your money? Commission is negotiable. It always has been, and since the 2024 settlement changes, it is negotiated and documented more openly than it used to be. There is no standard rate. I am not going to quote you one, and any agent who tells you the number is fixed is telling you something that is not true. What I will tell you is where to push. Not on the promulgated title premium. You cannot move it. Push on the things that are genuinely variable. The title company's service fees, what you agree to on concessions, and above all, the list price. Because that is the line with a $20,000 swing behind it. So, the recap. Title policy, about $1,700. Prorated taxes, roughly $3,000 if you close in the fall. Survey, $400 to $800. HOA resale certificate, up to $375. Small fees, $200 to $400. Then, commission on top of that. And the real one, the price you pick on day one. Now, the keep it real part. If your numbers do not work right now, I will tell you that. I have talked more than one San Antonio homeowner out of listing this year because staying put was the better financial call. That cost me a listing. I would rather you trust me in 3 years. If you want an honest, line-by-line net sheet on your specific address, not a guess, the actual numbers, reach out. I'm Christopher Beal with Veteran Real Estate San Antonio, 210-882-8583, or veteranrealestatesa.com. Thanks for watching.